Welcome to Billionaire's Edom. In a world where billions dream of wealth, only a few ever touch it. And among those few, fewer still manage to build it, not in the glittering towers of New York, London, or Dubai, but in Africa, a continent often portrayed as poor, unstable, and chaotic. Yet, from the dusty streets of Kano, Nigeria, one man rose to become the wealthiest African alive. His name is Aliko Dangote, and his story is unlike any other. This is the untold story of Africa's richest man. Aliko Dangote was born in 1957 in Kano, an ancient city of trade, culture, and commerce. His grandfather, Alhaji Sanusi Dantata, was a legendary merchant who became one of the wealthiest men in West Africa. Some would say Aliko was born into privilege, but wealth does not automatically create greatness. What he inherited was not money, but vision. As a little boy, he spent his days buying and selling candy at school, not for fun, but for profit. While other children dreamed of toys, Aliko dreamed of business. That hunger to trade, to take a coin and turn it into two, never left him. At 20, Dangote made a bold move that would define his future. He borrowed $500,000 from his uncle. With that money, he left Kano for Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria. Lagos in the late 1970s was chaotic, full of opportunities but also full of risks. Dangote plunged into trading sugar, rice, and cement. These were commodities Nigerians desperately needed. He worked long hours, building networks, securing shipments, and winning trust. In a marketplace full of broken promises, Dangote was different. He delivered on time, every time. That consistency became his weapon. The 1980s were turbulent years. Nigeria's economy suffered inflation, military coups, and currency crises. Many traders collapsed under the weight of unpredictability. But Dangote survived, not because he was lucky, but because he adapted. When rules changed, he shifted. When markets crashed, he found new paths. His survival in that storm made him stronger. Yet, Dangote was not content to remain a trader. Importing goods made him dependent on others. Prices abroad could change overnight, and shipping delays could destroy profits. If he wanted true power, he needed to control production. So, in the 1990s, he began to build factories. Flour mills, sugar refineries, salt plants, Dangote transformed from importer to industrialist. His products became part of everyday Nigerian life. The bread people ate in the morning, the sugar in their tea, the pasta on their plates, the salt in their stew, all bore the silent mark of Dangote. But his boldest step came with cement. Nigeria was spending billions importing it, yet demand was exploding as cities grew. Dangote saw the opportunity. He built massive cement plants and invested heavily in technology. Soon, Dangote Cement was not just Nigeria's supplier but Africa's giant. The company controlled more than 60% of Nigeria's market and expanded into over 10 countries. His fortune multiplied. Cement was his gold mine, and it catapulted him into the ranks of the world's billionaires. By 2011, Forbes crowned him Africa's richest man, a title he has held for 14 straight years. But instead of slowing down, Dangote pushed further. He turned his eyes toward oil, Nigeria's greatest paradox. For decades, the country exported crude oil yet imported refined fuel, wasting billions each year. Dangote dared to dream of ending that. He announced the construction of the largest oil refinery in Africa, and one of the largest in the world. The cost was staggering, $19 billion. The challenges were endless. Delays stretched the project for years. Critics laughed. Competitors doubted. Many said he was reckless, that no private businessman could succeed where governments had failed. But Dangote pressed on. For him, the refinery was not about ego. It was about legacy. If it succeeded, it would not only change Nigeria's economy but rewrite Africa's role in global energy. Behind the empire was a man of discipline. Dangote is soft-spoken, private, and avoids unnecessary luxury. Unlike many billionaires, he has no obsession with yachts or mansions abroad. He once admitted he didn't own a single house outside Nigeria. For him, wealth is not for showing off but for building more wealth. His routine is strict: early mornings, long work hours, and relentless focus. He believes success requires sacrifice, and his life is proof of that. But his journey is not without controversy. Many accuse him of monopolistic practices, of benefiting from government policies that crushed competitors. Others argue that his wealth has not changed the fact that millions of Nigerians remain poor. Dangote is often criticized for being too powerful, too connected to politics. Yet, even his critics cannot ignore his achievements. He has built industries that create jobs, supply essential goods, and prove that Africa can compete on the global stage. Beyond business, Dangote has also given back. Through his foundation, he funds hospitals, supports education, and fights hunger. He has donated millions to health causes, including the fight against Ebola and COVID-19. For him, philanthropy is not about publicity but responsibility. Today, Dangote's empire is woven into the fabric of Africa. His cement builds cities. His sugar sweetens homes. His flour feeds families. His salt preserves meals. And his refinery, though still unfolding, promises to fuel the future. With an estimated net worth of over $23 billion in 2025, Dangote is more than a billionaire. He is a symbol, of vision, of resilience, of what is possible when ambition meets discipline. The untold story of Aliko Dangote is not just about money. It is about dreaming big in a place where dreams often die. It is about turning setbacks into stepping stones, chaos into opportunity, and doubt into proof. His life is a reminder that Africa is not a land of limitations but of untapped potential. He has shown that true wealth is not built overnight, but over decades, with patience, persistence, and courage. From a boy selling sweets in Kano, to a trader in Lagos, to an industrial giant, and finally, to Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote's journey is one of grit, vision, and destiny. His story asks us all a simple question: if he could build an empire from the dust of Nigeria, what empire can you build from where you are today? This is the untold story of Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote. Subscribe, like and share for more content.